And, in What is Kilauea Eruption, this week's top story, Hawaii's Kilauea volcano put on a spectacular show as it erupted once again, sending fountains of lava up to 400 feet or 122 meters into the air. Thankfully, this new eruptive activity was completely confined to the obviously uninhabited southwest corner of Kilauea's summit caldera. Unlike the 9 prior episodes which have marked intermittent periods of lava effusion, this did not occur from 2 vents closely spaced to one another, but instead only the northern vent. Yes, I know you see a second tiny spatter cone vent here, but this is still considered part of the growing northern vent. During these prior episodes, the northern vent was always the first to erupt, with the southern one only erupting later. To me, this suggests that whatever magma pathway is feeding these vents requires a more substantial volume to activate the southern vent. Episode 10 of Lava Effusion began at 8:22 p.m. local time on February 19, and ended approximately 13 hours later at 9:18 a.m. on February 20. During this time span, an area of 2.17 square kilometers or 0.84 square miles was covered in a layer of fresh lava. While the duration between eruptive episodes has slowly increased since episode 5 ended, it appears that episode 11 might break this trend and occur sometime around February 23 to February 25. Home Reef eruption. Meanwhile, in Tonga, the Decite lava dome island known as Home Reef is erupting once again, with activity seemingly beginning during the last week of January 2025. This small island, since emerging above the Pacific Ocean in September of 2022, has through 5 separate eruptions grown to measure an impressive 541 meters or 1,775 feet long at its longest axis. While the prior eruption involved a largely effusive vent in the center of the island, it may have become blocked during the last week of January 2025. Because of this blockage, gas and volatiles built in pressure underneath it until it got so great that it broke through overlying rock, albeit slightly to the southwest of the prior vent, creating a small explosive eruption that carved out a 20-meter wide crater. This became clogged again after fresh lava filled the vent, resulting in an even more powerful blast that widened this crater to be 79 meters wide during early February, and depositing a layer of ash across much of the island. This crater initially was carved to an elevation below sea level, but was later filled by fresh lava to once again rise above sea level. However, since there is now a potential pathway for seawater to find its way to the magma conduit, we have a risk that, much like during 1984 and 2022, that a multi-kilometer high explosive eruption plume with ash could be generated instead of an almost purely effusive Decite eruption. Possible Lascar eruption? Meanwhile, in Chile, this might be a controversial take, but I think that the tall Lascar volcano is actively erupting. After producing an increasingly voluminous gas plume throughout the month where it would normally have essentially no plume or only a minimal one, thermal signatures from its inner active western crater have progressively gotten stronger. This resulted in Lascar's alert level being raised from green to yellow on February 12, and on February 21 a 10-kilometer exclusion zone was implemented in all directions around its summit. While unconfirmed, the thermal signatures are now so intense that I think a new andesite lava dome is being erupted. Whether this is occurring is unclear, this is speculative. However, I do want to note that almost all prior Lascar eruptions have been explosive in nature. List of erupting volcanoes. Here is a quick list of all of the world's volcanoes which are currently erupting. Additionally, here are some volcanoes showing signs of unrest which are not erupting as of the recording of this video on February 22 of 2025. As a final note, I would like to thank my new YouTube channel member Kaylee Simonson